So I'll go ahead and get started. Hopefully a couple other people will jump on. So I'm going to do the call to order. So due to the governor's recent order, all members of the Recreation and Parks Commission are participating virtually. For virtual meetings, commission members will be muted until asked to be heard. At that time, they will be unmuted and recognized at that time. When there is a vote, it will be necessary to take a roll call vote. A commission member will be recognized and will raise their hand and state their vote. Today's meeting is public meeting per the notice. Citizens can listen to the meeting if they contact the city manager's office to make the necessary arrangements. The meetings will also be live streamed on the city's YouTube channel, which can be accessed at www.cityofws.org/2682/video. A recording of today's meeting will be available by next Tuesday on the city's YouTube channel. So we're going to go ahead and take roll. When I call your name, please let me know that you're here. Kathy Gundring.
Here.
John Gunkel.
Here.
George Peterson. Joseph Cassidy.
Here.
Sean Hawkins.
Here.
Cherie Ingram. John France. Bob Hartwell. Taylor Ansley.
Here.
And Dr. Agara. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we do not have quorum, but we
You have me?
Pardon?
Yeah, Bob Hartwell.
Oh, we got you now, Bob. Thank you for jumping on. So we do. Very good. So we're going to go ahead into the approval of the minutes for May.
So don't we need to vote to start the meeting? I've forgotten. Do we do that or just vote to end the meeting?
Vote to end the meeting.
Okay.
I believe the approval of minutes might be what you're thinking of, Kathy, at the beginning.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So we're going to look at the minutes from last time. So the last time we had quorum. Are you okay if I go, Leah?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we talked about naming Quarry Park. And I think there we just wanted to make sure that we incorporated the name of, we included Quarry in the name of it, and everybody passed that. There was some information about the animal altars. And the motion was approved to access the parks and to proceed with those animal altars. So you guys jump in if there's something that's documented in those minutes that you think needs to be revised. The next one had to do with roles and responsibilities. So we met with John Lawson in February, which I think is like 5 months ago, and realized that the roles and responsibilities for the commission need to be revised. He was to present them, I thought, in March, and then in April, and then in May. And during last meeting, I believe there was a commitment to bring the revised document to this meeting, to the June meeting. So I would like the minutes to say not at a future meeting, but the June meeting. I don't know, Leah, whether that needs to be voted on. And you guys chime in whether you think it was like the next meeting June, or whether it was just some future meeting.
So I do have an update on that. It should be a future, if you want to change the future meeting, we can change that. My notes about John looks like he has intentions of meeting us in August.
August.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So can I ask a question? So
yes.
we agreed at the May meeting to put this off until August?
No, I do not believe we did that. I said that we agreed that he would come back in June.
That's what I remember.
Yes, and it was based on his availability.
So it's June.
I know it is June. So my question is, Leah, and I don't know really how we address this, whether it's a priority issue, whether we all need to go to our council members and ask for this to be prioritized.
So,
I don't know how to address it, but I thought early in the year that the commission requested guidance on really what our roles and responsibilities are, and it will be more than 6 months, and we still don't know, exactly what the city council is, wants us to do. And that to me seems a problem, that you've got these volunteers that aren't getting guidance that aren't getting the guidance that we've requested. So I don't know how to say that. I don't know whether I'm sounding, I don't know, but that is my concern. And you commission members, you guys can chime in, but that is my concern.
I'm very concerned about it. It's gone on for too long.
yes.
I remember him saying he was coming to this. I thought that maybe this meeting today, with the information. That's what I thought I heard the last time.
Wouldn't that be in the minutes from the last time that came up?
Well, that's what I'm saying is that the minutes from the May meeting are inaccurate because it says a future meeting, and I recalled it being the next meeting, which would be this meeting.
Right.
And I think, John Gunkel, you're saying the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
So, and I don't know, Leah, whether we finish talking about it now, or we bring it up in our new business section when we get into the agenda. But I want to be officially raising my hand that I am concerned that there's a prioritization situation that maybe we should go to city council members and ask for clarification. Because if it's truly true that there's so many other things going on, which I'm assuming must be the situation, but I would like city council to be overtly aware that we don't really know what they want us to be doing.
Well, in my notes, I have that John will join us in August. So I will reach out to him if we want to have further discussion on this at the end with the business section, we can. But I definitely hear your concern.
Okay, so you're saying that what you heard that was said in front of everybody on the commission was that he was coming in August?
No, I have notes from today where I spoke with William.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I wasn't clear about that.
Okay.
But, chatted with William early this morning, and he does have down that that John will join us in August. The reason why not in July, and we'll discuss this a little bit more in detail later on, is typically commission does not meet in July because council does not meet in July.
All right, so let's put it in the new business then, because he said it was going to be April, and then he said it was going to be May, and then he said it was going to be June, and now it's going to be August. And so I don't know whether we need to help, whether the city council should help us with our expectations, which is perfectly cool, or whether they can help prioritize it so that he can actually get it done for us in August.
So,
all right, so moving on, then the last thing on the minutes was the curb appeal survey, which Felicia did send everybody, and the request was made that people go and look at parks that they express, that they have a particular interest in or in their ward, and to try to get that done in the month of May so that we could look at those results today. So I don't know, when I read the agenda, whether in that new section in the new business, is that what you mean? Like there's a bullet that says maintenance? Is that where we review the survey?
that's more for departmental updates, but we can discuss it then.
Okay.
Kathy, just one quick point there. We can probably get into this when we discuss those results later, but I would love for that survey to kind of remain open through June as well and have that more of a rolling thing. I think it would be beneficial to, I for one, was not able to get out to as many parks as I wanted to. So I don't know if that's the plan.
Yeah, I like that idea. because you know the parks are living and breathing, and so I think it's great all the way around, because I think it's a real opportunity for the commission members to actually be engaged, you know, and have an activity to go do that can contribute to our community. So, all right. So can I have a motion to approve the May minutes with the revision that we thought that John Lawson was coming back in June? John,
I'll move to approve. This is Taylor Inslee.
Second that.
Okay, anybody opposed? Okay, all right, thank you. So I think we have approval on that, Leah. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, guys.
Can I ask a quick question about the survey data? It's George. I just wanted to ask, I know you sent us like a copy of the spreadsheet from the results. Is it possible to share the live Google, if it's the Google Doc that is the results of the forum? Because, for example, I noticed that I basically did all the same parks as John, or he did a bunch of parks, and all the parks that I did, he also did. So if I can go in live and look at who's done what, that lets me know maybe I don't need to do one because somebody just did it. Because I'm pretty sure that you can just send a link, like a share link inside of Google, to that sheet that's holding the data, and then we can just look at it and it could be updated to the moment.
So George, I know that I did that. That's originally what my request was of Felicia, and because I wanted to be able to just go online and look at it.
Right.
But what she came back with was the spreadsheet. So Leah, I don't know whether you could make that request again.
So that you'd like to see who's done what?
Yeah, like live, you know, can you just
Right.
like view the survey?
Yeah, it should make it. I've done it before. I know that with Google Forms, I assume that form is just saving into a Google Doc, and then you can just share that Google Doc, and we can click on that link, and it'll take us to the current version second of what it currently looks like. That way I can say, oh, I see somebody just did Miller Park. I don't need to do it. I'll go do one that isn't on the list or hasn't been done recently.
Okay, so you need access to the link.
Right, and if you need any help with that, I can probably help you figure out how to do it because I've done it before.
Okay, I'll make the request of Felicia.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to move to the first agenda item, which is, or the second agenda item, naming of the Wade bidding footbridge.
So, Steve, if you could scroll down to the letter. So we have had a request to rename the bridge, the footbridge across Salem Creek that is located at the end of Liberia Street to be named the Wade Bidding Footbridge. It was in the 1930s that Mr. Bidding approached Salem Ward Alderman J. Wilbur Cruz about the need for a footbridge after a woman fell and broke her leg trying to get across the creek from Happy Hill neighborhood to Salem and downtown. Mr. Bidding was an advocate for his community. Mrs. Opperman wrote in her report, Winston-Salem's African-American neighborhoods, 1870 to 1950, the creek and all the low areas excessively overgrown, and the neighborhood was frequently flooded. Residents had no screens or windows, and so, so slept under the constant attack of mosquitoes and rats from the creek. Wade Bidding organized the men of his church and drew up a petition to have the undergrowth cleared and a playground made for children, which they represented to the mayor, R.J. Reynolds Jr. So, Steve, if you can go to the picture. This bridge is located on the Greenway behind Salem, or if you guys are all familiar with Happy Hill Park, you've got the Salem Creek Greenway. And at the end of the street, there is a bridge, it's an older bridge that crosses over the creek that gives you access to where Salem College is now, I believe it's where the tennis courts are. Is anybody familiar with this area? Good.
I am. I'm familiar with
It's
it.
kind of hard to see. I mean, you almost have to look for it to find it.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with it being a part of our Greenway part, you would never know it was there. You know, I'm out there on that Greenway all the time. I've crossed over that bridge often to cut from that over to the road when walking. So it is it's a unique, to me, it's beautiful. It's a little bit older bridge, but we would like for the support of the commission to vote on that to have it renamed. I'm sorry, Kathy, you're on mute.
May I have a motion to approve the renaming of the bridge?
I'll move. Motion to approve it.
1 second.
Okay, so that was John and then Bob. Anybody opposed? Okay, I think we've got approval on that.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Okay, next is Parks and PED fit together.
So we have Sarah Armstrong with us. She is going to present the Parks and Peds Fitness Together partnership that we have. We're working with multiple partners to combat youth obesity. And so Sarah is a professional. She's the one who knows all about the details. So I'm going to let her share that with us. Sarah, do you need the screen?
Yep, that would be great if you don't mind, Leah. Thanks so much for giving me a few minutes of your guys' meeting this morning.
Great, thank you for joining us.
Sure, of course. It looks like it's still disabled for screen sharing. This is like our frequent things on Zoom, right? You're on mute. I'm disabled for screen sharing.
We're still learning day by day.
The slogans for 2020 and 2021 for sure.
That's right. There we go. Okay, it worked.
Great.
Perfect. Great. Well, thanks so much again for giving me a couple minutes. I'll try to keep it brief because I know you guys have a very busy agenda. As Leah mentioned, I'm Sarah Armstrong. I'm a general pediatrician at Duke. So regular well-child checkups, and our world has changed just like your guys has over this past year. It's been quite a year for healthcare professionals and for recreation professionals. So one of the things that I do is I direct our pediatric weight management program, and I've done that since about 2006. So 15 years of seeing kids with obesity and their families. I work with a multidisciplinary team, nutritionists, physical therapists, behavioral experts, and we try to help families make changes that will help the health of the kids and also the parents and siblings and everybody in the family. And what we realized kind of early on in this is that there's only so much we can do within the clinic setting, because we only see patients every so often. And so we reached out to our local recreation department in Durham Parks and Rec, and formed a partnership with them back in 2009 to build a shared program. So essentially, the way the partnership works is we see the kids in clinic, and I treat things like, diabetes in 8-year-olds and elevated blood pressure in 10-year-olds. It's an unfortunate situation and has only gotten worse over the pandemic, by the way. We are packed right now. Is anyone else hearing like a thumping sound? Okay.
Clicking in that buzz just now.
Okay. Oh, it's gone. Okay, sorry, no problem. Just didn't know if it was on my end. And so basically the way, what we did is we tried to think of obesity less as something we have to criticize people about, and more like, this is a patient of mine, Janaya, like, let's figure out how to help kids with obesity be kids first and play just like other kids and do what they're, what they can to be healthy and active. And the way that we decided was the best way to do that was through this partnership between healthcare clinics, primary care clinics, and parks and recreation. And so the way the model developed, again, maybe now almost 10 years ago, is that children with obesity and their families would kind of come into clinical care and get screening, but then through this partnership with the recreation center, through programming on site, both for nutrition and physical activity with their whole family included, we could lead to improved health. Okay, and so we've done research on this for like the past 10 years. And what we have learned is that this model is much more engaging than your standard, go to the doctor and they tell you you have to lose 10 pounds or something, which is admittedly not very helpful for any of us. And so this really engages low-income and diverse families in a very positive and family-based way. Our outcomes show that it does improve child physical activity. It stabilizes or reduces a child's body mass index, that's BMI, and it improves their cardiometabolic health, which is things like diabetes and cholesterol and all those other adverse consequences of obesity. Really, maybe most importantly to me, though, as a pediatrician and also as a parent, is just really the striking improvements in the children's quality of life and their self-confidence, which is really important because kids with obesity have a rough time in schools. There's a lot of bullying and teasing, and it's not always a friendly place to be. So that to have this intervention that really makes them feel confident in their bodies is really important. Also, from the recreation side of things, what we found is that it also increased the use of the recreation facility. So, for example, people would come in for our scheduled programming for this program, but then the moms would notice like, oh, hey, there's a Zumba class at 7 o'clock. When I'm here, I think I might sign up for that. And come tomorrow night. So we found that both the kids and the parents just became more aware of all of the amazing offerings that Durham Parks and Rec had to offer. And so they became engaged with that. So that was the model, and that's kind of what we know so far. This is just a photo from inside the Addison Johnson Recreation Center, which is where we host our program, which we call Bull City Fit. So everything is something fit, and in Durham, everything's Bull City something or other because of the Durham Bulls. But that's sort of a shot of the kids all together and stretching. I don't want to spend time showing you this video, this Vimeo link, but I did want to include it on the slide deck, which I'm happy to share. It's about a 5-minute video from the family's perspective, talking about what this program meant for them. It's got a lot of images and video from on site during the programming, because I think that helps sometimes for people to understand exactly what this is. But just so you guys know also, and this is not like, to brag on ourselves, but just so that you know that this is sort of this is an established program, and this won the Partnership of the Year award. Oh gosh, well, let's see, we were in person, so it had to have been 2018 or before for the NRPA Partnerships of the Year. So this is definitely something that has worked. And we've been able to spread it to a lot of North Carolina. So we have programs now actively running in all of the counties listed in blue. Over the past 5 years, we've been able to stand up partnerships between local recreation and park departments and pediatric primary care clinics. And then we were fortunate this past year to get funding from the National Institutes of Health to run a 5-year project to bring on board Winston-Salem, you guys, and also Mecklenburg. So you guys are going to be partnering with us and also with Parks and Recreation in Charlotte. So that's kind of fun too. And just to highlight that it is a National Institutes of Health grant. So this is not just about recreation or use of outdoor spaces. Those are all amazing parts of it. But this is really about kids' health and the future health of our next generation. So really important. And the team that you guys have, and we've been meeting with Leah and folks from the recreation site, is called Camel City Fit. I don't know if it's officially been voted on, but that's kind of like where everybody seems to be leaning, your version of Bull City Fit. The Duke team, we will train everybody, both the recreation center staff and the clinicians, using the curriculum that's demonstrated all those outcomes that I went over. So hopefully kids in your community can experience those same good outcomes. We will also provide financial support as part of the NIH grant for somebody called a connector for 4 years, which is the person that will really do all of the grunt work of this, because we know that everybody already has full-time jobs. So they're going to be really developing the programming, delivering the programming in partnership with everybody, and making sure that the communication is really good. We are going to enroll the kids who participate in the program so that we can measure the impact on their health. And when I say health, I mean both emotional and physical health. And then we'll report that back to you guys at the end of the study. And then both the clinical staff and the recreation staff will participate in training and meetings with each other to help build that connection between the clinic and the community settings. And we'll also teach everybody along the way a lot about child obesity, about weight bias, about how to talk about weight with kids. And so hopefully that'll be a good learning experience for everybody together. So this is just one shot of all the families one night over at Bull City Fits. You can see it's a really fun, happy, diverse group of kids. And we really do try to focus on the positives of physical activity and nutrition and supporting each other through peer relationships. So I can stop sharing and we'll take any questions if you all have some.
I don't really have any, but just a thought. I know we have a lot of things. We have a lot of things called Camel City, which I think makes perfect sense based on the fact that that's the name of the city. But just as an opinion, as a thought, it seems to kind of strike me as weird to call an exercise fitness program Camel City. I don't have any opinion on whether that should or shouldn't be the case, but just whoever might be responsible for the name to think we might be able to use Dash in some some interesting way to, sound more like a fitness thing, but doesn't really matter.
I am 100% open to that. I kind of thought the same thing, but wanted to defer to the local teams. So whatever the folks on the ground want to name it, we are 100% behind you guys, but I get that.
Thank you, George. Anybody else have questions or comments?
I do. So when you say you'll come back at the end of the program, so is it a 4-year program?
Yeah, it's a 5-year grant officially, Kathy. Thanks for the question. NIH takes forever with everything because it's government. So we will run this actual study for sort of the 3 years in the middle of that 5-year grant. So the first year is all preparation, then there's 3 years of running it. And then there's a year where we have to go and do all the data analysis and clean up, and we'll report it back to you once we have all those final results. So it's a ways to wait, but you'll certainly get updates on how things are going along the way. You won't just not hear from us for 4 years.
So doing some, continuous improvement, doing some analyzing your metrics at different milestones along the way, then it would give you the opportunity to tweak your program if there's needs for tweaking. That's just a thought.
Yeah, and that's perfect. So this study is called an implementation study, and we actually submitted it through the NIH's Dissemination and Implementation Research for Health section. So you're right on, and that a big part of this is learning how it works and what the local adaptations need to be to make it work in any local community. We want to make sure that we don't come in with some sort of rubber stamp thing that just doesn't fit, with any particular locale or patient population or, just the community setting. So we, along the way, will be very intentional about gathering feedback and about making those tweaks to make sure that it fits right with the community setting. And we've had such great engagement. Leah and her team have been really awesome with just giving us feedback on where it should be and what the clinic's referring, where they should be and what kind of kids they want to serve. And so we will definitely make those tweaks along the way. Thanks so much.
Well, it sounds great to me. And I, being on the commission, I would say, I'd offer me anyway, if there are ways that this commission could help. Leah, so maybe you can think about that over the next couple of years. If there are opportunities where we might be engaged or add value, by all means, tap us on the shoulder.
Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, Kathy. And I don't know if we mentioned where we're going to host this at. It's actually going to be in Kimberly Park. And we're going to use it ML King Recreation Center. So a lot of great amenities. As you guys know, it's a phenomenal recreation center. The park's recently been redone, walking trails, playgrounds, outdoor basketball courts. So a lot of outdoor recreational opportunities as well as the actual facility. So very excited about that. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay. So departmental updates. So we have, what time is it? It's the halfway mark. And I know we want to go through the survey and figure out what kind of next steps are as a result of the survey. So I don't know how much time you need for all of this, but maybe we can have.
I'm just going to jump in with a couple minutes and I'll let Greg and Renata jump in if they have anything. Just a couple notes. Just, is everybody good with not meeting in July? Because council doesn't meet. Typically, we traditionally do not meet. So just want to make sure that everybody's comfortable with that. That will resume meetings in August. Very good. Sure. I see a lot of heads nodding, so very good. Thank you. And then there was a request, I believe, in the last meeting for information about Keep Winston-Salem Beautiful to adopt a park. Felicia does have that information. She just sent me an email over about that, stating that she'll send you guys out some information by the end of the week. So jumping down to departmental updates and information for recreation centers. We're still moving, we're going. We have summer camps that will begin, I cannot believe it, in a couple of weeks. Can't believe we're already into June. Schools are starting to let out next week. And summer camps will start for us on June 21st. Registration is pretty strong. We're full at most of our locations. hiring has been a little bit slow this year. It's been a bit of a challenge, but that's a national challenge, you know, where we thought it was just us, but everybody that I've contacted, they're having the same issues. But, you know, as the world's starting to open up and people are comfortable coming out, we're starting to see, we're hoping to get more people to apply, but also we're starting to see our numbers definitely jumped up over this past week. So I'm not sure if it's because of school getting out and parents realizing, ooh, I've got to have somewhere to put my kid at, or with the executive order changing that people are starting to get more comfortable going out and about. So, but that's positive. We are seeing our numbers increase a little bit in all of our programs. So that's all I have on the Recreation Center side. I'm going to pass it over to Greg James, and he'll share some updates on the special use facilities.
Thank you, Leah. Good afternoon, everybody. A couple of updates from special populations. Some of these are golf tournaments coming up in June. We will offer the senior golf tournament. It's going to be June 17th and 18th at Pine Knolls and Maple Chase, $100 entry. Age 50 and better, as you like to say. We had a large attendance for that last year, over 70 golfers. So we really hope that people will join us again this year. Historic Bethabara, we will be offering 3 youth-focused programs this year. June 21st sees 2 programs starting up. We have Carolina Clay, which is a pottery class. The idea is that Moravians had a number of different skills, and we want our children to have very kinesthetic, hands-on learning experiences. As you well know, most of our kids have been facing a computer all year, so we're trying to offer that kinesthetic experience. We also have a birding program that is starting up. We have 183 acres of property at Historic Bethabara, so we're really trying to make use of that. We will be offering our first summer camp at Historic Bethabara this year as well. It's called Young Apprentices. Again, the same kinesthetic experience. That is actually fully booked now, which is a great win for the site. That begins on July 12th. And then finally, pools will be open as normal this year. And we'll be offering swim lessons, free swim lessons. They start on June 14th and go through early August. Okay, so that's all I got for you today. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Greg. Renata, do you have any updates?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, good afternoon. Just want to give the commission an update on where we are with a lot of our maintenance and our projects here. A lot of our projects are coming to fruition. Just want to touch base on playgrounds. We have a lot of playgrounds that are actually coming to an end here soon. We're looking at Bolton right now, and if you ride by, I think they're beginning to start. They've got all the cement and things in, beginning to start installing playground equipment. So they're about 80% complete, with an anticipation completion of around June 30th. We have playgrounds going in at Laughlin, Skyland, and Reynolds. Currently at this time, Laughlin is complete, except we're waiting for some tree aeration to go on with the contractor to have that finalized. We're looking to do a walkthrough for Laughlin, Skyland, and Reynolds. So we're looking for walkthrough coming up very soon to do final punch list there. Reynolds, we're waiting to begin pour in place, which is the cushion surfacing around that particular playground. And we're hoping that to happen around June 7th. But we're looking for all 3 of these to be completed around July 30th. Right now, we have Brushy Fork, Winston Lake 1, 3, and 4. Winston Lake Playground 4 has been completed. We will do a final walkthrough on Friday, June 4th for the other ones to get a final playlist for those parks, but they're coming along looking great. So we're having completion of those. We're saying no later than July 30th, but it's probably going to be sooner. Carl Russell, the community center recreation renovation is moving along and is on schedule as planned. They're beginning now. We have the graphics for the gym floor and things, so it's coming around. W.R. Anderson gym renovation. We're looking for that one. It should be completed, we're hoping, by the end of this week. We did a final walkthrough around the end of last week. We have some final punch list items that we need the contractor to tighten up on. But other than that one, should be ready to go by the end of this week. Reynolds Pool. The replastering project, they're currently finishing up. They said hopefully by Wednesday of this week. So we plan to have that done, get that pool filled back up, and hopefully get it inspected and ready to go on June 12th with the other pools that are to be opened. And going back, looking at our indoor basketball resurfacing for the 5 gyms that we have. Currently at this time, abatement has been completed at WC Sims, and they are beginning work on the floors. They have also started abatement on Sprague. It started around May 24th. So we're looking to begin at Miller Park. We have gotten confirmation as far as the roofing and things of that nature. So we're looking to begin in August 16th to begin on the inside once roofing is done by PFM. So those projects are moving quite along and moving well. So just wanted to say Sprague Street is the last one. It's a pool conversion over to a splash pad. Currently at this time, trying to solidify 3 bids. Currently at this time, we have 1 bid that is in. They're going back for a good faith estimate. So since council does not meet in July, it should go to bid out in August. So hopefully we have that under contract around September-ish of this year. And hoping with at that time, we will be able to meet with contractor and schedule a completion date for the project. But those are the main projects that we have going on. I'm available for any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Kathy?
Yes.
I've got questions.
Shoot.
First of all, I guess I'll go to one. I want to differentiate, because sure I understand something that what we just heard about is more in the category of maintenance as opposed to capital improvements. Looks like they're capital improvements to me. The reason I raise that distinction is I'm trying to understand why there's a 2.5 to 3 month lapse in the work at Long Creek. Some buildings were torn down as they should have been, but it took forever to get that done. They spent almost 2.5 months on that. And then we had an almost 3 month hiatus. They're now working over there again, but we've lost that place for a 2nd year in a row, which is unfortunate in terms of the pool. Appears to be the beginning of the construction of a pool house, which could have been built long before now. I'm trying to have someone explain to me, I've got some people in the administration I want to ask about this, but why that hiatus occurred. What is it about that contract that allows that place to sit fallow for 2.5 months, which has been a great time to build? Is there an answer to that here, or is that elsewhere?
This is Renata. That answer to that question will rest with, I think, Director Royston explained last time, that project exists up under our engineering department. In any department in which a building is going vertically up, that rests with him. So he would have the answer to that particular, question as to why there was hiatus there. We as a recreation, we don't oversee that particular project, but it is a project for us. I have given you updates on projects that we have right here that are capital improvements that do belong, and we are actually taking the spearhead on.
Okay.
So who owns the Long Creek project? Which department?
He's our city engineer. It rests in the engineering department. His name is Robert Presswood. And we can reach out to Robert and kind of get questions answered and clarification and get that sent over to Felicia to forward to you.
I'm wondering if we could request that he come as a guest speaker and specifically talk to us about Long Creek, because Long Creek keeps coming up like all the time.
Right. I do know we had a meeting at Long Creek and I attended that meeting last week. They did and have started on the pool house. I see they do have actually, the foundation has already been set. Duke Power was out running the power. They're getting ready to put in the conduits for the actual picnic shelter and things of that nature. So as he stated, things are moving along. I do know at this particular time, We're looking at, some issues in regards to, water, things of that nature, looking to see, do we need to actually drain the pool for them to finish digging around and whatnot? But that's just something we can solidify in approximately a couple of days or whatnot. But other than that, they are moving along. But as far as what actually took long or held them off on the hiatus, I am not aware of that information.
Thank you, Renata.
Thank you.
So maybe though, Leah, could we ask, and commission members, is this something that you want to spend time on for Robert to come and not, I prefer not just digging up the past, but more, here's what the plan is going forward and laying out expectations so that Bob and Joe and their communities could understand what the go forward plan is. Would that be helpful?
Yes, ma'am.
Joe is nodding yes. Bob, is that good with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Leah, can we formally request that happen?
Yes, ma'am. We'll make the request. I'll let William know, see if you can get a hold of Robert.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you. Anything else? Is that all the updates?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Renata, can you stay on the call? Because I think what we'd like to do now is to look at the survey.
Okay, I do not have a copy of it and I have not seen the survey.
Okay, Leah, can you share the survey with us?
I don't have access to it. Do you guys have it?
You don't have access to it. No, all I have is let me see what
I think the results were shared as a spreadsheet in Felicia's email to us about this meeting.
Right. So it should be in that email, Leah, and you can just open the spreadsheet and share it.
No, I don't have the original email that she sent out to you guys. Let me see if I can get a hold of her real quick.
Quick question, Renata.
I can forward it to you.
Okay.
Sorry, Sean, go ahead.
Quick question, Renata. Will the pool at Winston Lake, will that I know they were doing some maintenance issues there. Will that pool open up anytime this year?
Are you looking for Winston Waterworks?
Yeah, Winston Waterworks. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. That pool will open.
Okay, so it's going to open on schedule, right?
Information that I had received was basically, yes, it will. It will open on schedule.
Okay. All right. I know a lot of people in the East Winston community been asking me about that. So I told them, I didn't have anything at this time, but I would, find out for them. And, because everybody been wanting to use, everybody loves that pool. I know it's new. And so I know a lot of the kids will be excited about that one.
Yes, sir.
Well, Leah, it looks like I don't have your email, so I'm struggling to send this to you.
You're fine. It's Leah
I
S.
forwarded it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
You did forward it. Let me see if it hasn't popped up yet.
So I don't know whether people have done the survey since she sent the email out.
I did it, Kathy. I did it probably when she sent it out, so I got mine in.
You did it. Yeah, I see you in there. I see you did Washington Park. So
Yes.
It looks like John Gunkel did quite a number, 2, 4, 6, 8, I don't know, about 10 or so. I did 3. Geller, you did 1, Sean did 1, Tyke did 1, George Peterson, you did 4. So just running through it, John, the ones that you did, I don't see that you had any real concerns. You wanted some asphalt and tree trimming. In what park is that? Granville.
Yeah, it was Granville, needs some tree trimming. There was the park over there off of a Meadowlark. I forgot the name of it. That had some dead trees when you drive into the parking lot. I guess that was Jameson Park. Yeah, that was Jameson Park. I think the men's bathroom had problems when I was there. I just went in and checked it, and it was kind of overflowing. They're probably already taken care of that. And I think it was Schaffner Park. There looked like black mold growing on the tennis course, and I saw that someplace else. That might have been Bolton Park too. Oh, it was a Hathaway. They had a lot of potholes in the Hathaway Park. You know, when you drive in, there's that kind of gravel, or maybe it's old asphalt. It has a number of potholes in it. And I think that's what I remember. Oh, Granville, there were some of the asphalt pathways through there that are really kind of bad shape. I don't know if you've been to Granville. It's kind of like down in like a hole, and there's all these little pathways through there, and some of them are really rough.
So, Renata, I'm not sure whether, I mean, it sounds like a lot of this is ongoing maintenance work. Is it something with this feedback that you can get your crews? You know, we'll continue going through it. Maybe we just continue going through it. But Renata, I am interested to know what you and your team might be able to do about any of these things that we've observed. Yes. So let's finish going through it, and then maybe you can give us your thoughts. That be okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And Kathy, if I could just more to that point, I guess I'm curious, like whether this information, you know, was helpful or useful to the Parks Department staff, and whether, in my mind, I'm wondering also if we might want to sort of simplify or streamline the survey a little bit. It seems a little bit, there's just quite a few questions, and some of it seems a little redundant. And so I just wonder if maybe we want to kind of focus on very concrete stuff that the Parks Commission, that the Parks Department could work on.
Right. So Renata, were you involved with, so Renata, I might be assuming things that aren't true. So help me with this. Who would actually take action on any of these things that we identify? Because then we'd want to make sure that we, to Taylor's point, are, you know, asking questions, provide.
Your responses. We will actually go out and do an investigation, assess also, do a comparison of that. Also is what I intend to do is with my deferred maintenance with that particular assessment and kind of see where do some of this mesh together. And at the same time, when we take a look at it, we will assign this, you know, to our crews, which is basically look like a lot of it will be our construction crew, which is basically a 6-man team. So, you know, a lot of this will not overturn overnight, but then we'll take a look at some of the things that are going on. Some of these things may be maintenance issues that may be contracted out. That is more than we can handle. So if that, then, you know, we take a different avenue when we start contracting out. But it will fall within us, and we will take a look at these items, and we will be the ones responsible for going out.
Okay, great. That's very helpful. Thank you. So, and you know, the other thing, again, to Taylor's point, is it being ongoing, you know, and continuing to do it. I'm wondering if there might be like a maybe, I'm just making this up, a quarterly cycle. So, you know, we call this the, you know, the end of May, and you guys go work this. And then meanwhile, we're collecting the next, you know, quarters.
Or even, Kathy, I mean, I think one way to look at this is, you know, we have the deferred maintenance report, which was a snapshot in time, and this is sort of an updated snapshot on some of those same things. So even if it just kind of provides a bit more context and helpful information to the staff as they're about to prioritize some of those deferred maintenance items to see if things have improved or deteriorated in those scenarios, and then just consider this sort of more of a living document that just gets updated over time as much as we can all go out and visit these parks and provide reports on the ground to fill in that context. I think that might be helpful.
Yeah, that'd be good. But I would like to know when, so if we can continue going through it, when I looked at Whitaker Park, the soccer fields have a lot of weeds and a lot of dirt. You know, they're not really covered with grass, but the huge effort or problem with Whitaker is it's surrounded with these really pretty woods, and there's so much ivy that the ivy has killed many trees which are standing there dead. Now, keep in mind, there's a soccer field with kids playing on the soccer field. It's adjacent to an elementary school. So there's dead standing trees, and there are trees that are dying because they're choking with ivy. So I'd really love for something to happen to that park to go in. And Renata, I think it's kind of a biggish effort, because you'd have to get equipment in there to pull out dead trees, and I don't know about clearing out the ivy, but that's what I found about Whitaker.
Yes, ma'am. Whitaker is on my list. I know our guys have went out. We have, as you stated, we removed the dumpster. We've restriped the parking lot. We've repainted your bathroom, and your water is running out there. I think you had some issues that there were certain spots that were holding water. I know last week, and we're finishing up, trying to finish this week, is trying to address those issues where there is actually low hanging spots, and we're coming through trying to grade that out and come in and fix that issue. And then at the same time, there's also a culvert pipe that is sitting there that we need to assess and see, has it caved, because it dips. So sometimes when evaluating a lot of these projects you have out there, when we start investigating, we find more and more.
Yeah.
So in regards to also with your trees and things of that nature, I have been working with the director, and one of the things we have, in which it will be contracted out, or I have to bring someone in, I will first start with our vegetation management, looking at the dead trees and things out there and seeing what's going on. But I think that will be a project that will have to be contracted out due to the nature of the size of the woods back there behind that particular park. We will, at one point, we will come through and aerate, reseed out there. But since it's hot and things of right now, trying to do that when there's no irrigation, it's kind of like just throwing money away if we happen to go out there and do that. But those things are on our list to come out there with Whitaker Park. So we have taken notice.
Great, thank you. So let's keep going. Taylor, what's yours on Lineback? You have feedback on that?
Oh, I just, it was a busy Saturday, and, you know, I mean, this is a tough problem to solve, not necessarily something that could be solved, but just lots of overflowing trash cans with a busy Saturday in the park. I think, you know, coming out of COVID, all the parks are getting a lot more use, which is great, and especially on Saturdays, but just kind of, you know, that does help, that does hurt the curb appeal. And the only other issue I had there was that there's a soccer league, I believe it's Soccer Shops, that's, I assume, renting out sort of the top field up there at Lineback Park. And due to the just traffic there, literal traffic with cars and parking on the street, just kind of made it a pretty crowded looking, even though there's plenty of room in the park. And so I just wonder if that's part of the conversation with leagues and folks that rent out those fields, how to kind of control for that traffic and parking.
Mm. Okay. Sean, Washington. There's something you want to tell us about Washington Park, Sean? Is Sean still with us? Looks like Sean maybe dropped. Tig isn't here. He was concerned about sprinkler heads on the soccer field. He's really concerned about sprinkler heads on the soccer field. It's like every comment is sprinkler heads on the soccer field. So I'm not sure, Renata, if that's something you could address or think about.
Yes, ma'am. I do know currently right now at our soccer fields, we are finishing the lighting. I think you all remember 2018 bonds, there was lighting. So we came through with Musco lighting at Little Creek and Hines and Sarah Lee. Contractor has finished all the lighting at Little Creek, and he has just finished at Hines. So those fields will be ready to go. We're working with vegetation and reestablishing the power connection to get the irrigation back up. In regards to the irrigation head, yes, we know the irrigation at the soccer fields is very, very old. That is something we're working with. When we redone the heads over here at Winston Lake and redone the irrigation over here at Reynolds Park, one of the things we did was we did not discard those particular heads. So some of those heads can be used to be replaced out there on that side until funding is available to come in and put in new irrigation systems.
Yeah, I think he's concerned about the safety of kids falling on the sprinkler heads and hurting themselves.
Okay.
Schaffner and Hathaway, I did those two. I thought they were in pretty good shape. But John observed the potholes at Hathaway. George, how about Bolton, Schaffner, Hathaway, and South Fork?
Sure, yeah, and I'm dropping to another meeting right after this. The main things I would mention, and I actually have pictures, if you don't have to do it on here, but if you scroll to the very end where it lets you upload photos, those are Google Drive links on the end of my results. That's what that is the photos I uploaded. The main things I noticed were things that didn't seem too big. And most of them, like it would ask, is there any cracked pavement? Well, there's cracked pavement on basically all of them. I mean, I think that's expected with weeds growing through sometimes. But just to note that, Bolton, I noticed there was a missing water fountain head right over, I think right by the tennis courts. The water fountain, you couldn't turn it on because it didn't have the mechanism or anything. Some graffiti in the bathrooms, at least I think that was Bolton that it asked about. But overall, I mean, functionality-wise, things seem fine. Obviously, there's some work being done at Bolton, so I didn't really think a lot of that needed mentioning because it was obvious, like, you know, it said, how are the grounds? And it was like the whole top layer had been stripped away and there was dirt and stuff piled around from where I think there's some land work being done there. So that wasn't too concerning. And really, the only other stuff that I noticed that I thought really needed very much work was stuff like that, where there's a pile of what looked like really old mulch or something that was sitting for a long time in one or two locations, you know, things like that. But as far as big safety concerns, mostly just the potholes and stuff. And then, graffiti is a thing that exists, but it asks, so I mentioned it where I saw it. And the broken water fountain, because it was the only one I saw for quite a large distance in that park.
I just want to call attention to the time. It is 12:58.
Yeah, got it.
Very good. Great, thank you.
All right, so I don't know how did you guys feel about doing the survey? Do you feel like it was a good activity? Bob, you might go.
I agree it could be streamlined a little more, though. Maybe put it all on one page and kind of simplify the questions a little so there's less of them. We could do it more quickly that way, and then just upload photos and comments.
So how can we do that? I mean, I don't know whether we should just maybe Taylor and George get with
Sure. I mean, I'm happy to send a follow-up email to Felicia just with some recommendations, maybe. I mean, I for one, I don't know how you felt, Kathy, or the others who completed the survey. I, for one, think that the most valuable thing is almost just sort of the open-ended questions. I mean, it's nice to know what we're looking for, and maybe we just have a list of some of those items to look for, and then just give us, a place to just, plug in our thoughts open-ended, because that'll, I think, over time be more useful than the yes/no kind of, flow of it.
Okay.
I wonder.
So Taylor,
I wonder if it also wouldn't be helpful to add a column so that Renata is able to drop in there when something's been addressed.
Oh, that'd be nice. Like status kind of comments. Yeah. All right. Okay.
So I'll send some feedback to Felicia and Kathy. I can CC you on that email. And just
that'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you. I like that idea. Okay, so we are out of time. I don't know that we came to any conclusion about how we make sure that John Lawson has priority so that he actually can get the ordinance updated by August.
The department will reach out to him.
Okay. I'd like to know in July if that's not going to happen, and if not going to happen, then maybe that's when we go engage our representative council members. So, okay, thank you, everybody. Good meeting. I appreciate everybody being here. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Joe Cassidy.
Second.
Thank you. Anybody opposed? Want to stay here all night? John?
Well, just one point of clarification. We're not meeting next month, right?
Correct. So we'll see you guys in August.
Okay.
The next meeting will be August the 3rd.
When will we be in person again?
Potentially by August 3rd. We will let you guys know. I know things are shifting. We're starting to move towards in-person meetings. We haven't had anything confirmed yet, but definitely once council probably goes, we'll definitely start doing commission in person as well. But Felicia, if that's going to be in August, she'll definitely let you guys know in advance.
Okay.
So it'll be nice to see you guys in person. It's been a while.
Thank
Very good.
you.
Great. Thank you, everybody.